Hey teachers, July's here, and we know what you're thinking. Should I be prepping? Should I be resting? What should I be doing?
Well, don't worry, we've got you. Join us for our free July secret training where we are spilling our best kept secret, how to prep for back to school without giving up your entire summer.
You will walk away knowing exactly what to focus on, when to do it, and how to actually enjoy July while still getting ready for your best year yet.
You can sign up now for free at secondstorywindow.net/July. That's secondstorywindow.net/JULY.
This is the summer game changer that you have been waiting for. This is episode 208 of Teacher Approved.
Hey there, and welcome back. On Thursdays this summer, we're sharing a weekly Can't Miss Classic, one of our favorite teacher-approved episodes that's full of timely takeaways.
We handpicked these classic episodes to be ones we know you'll want to hear this summer as you recover and prepare for a new school year.
And today we're sharing something a little different, but something we think is especially worth its own moment in the spotlight.
Yeah, this is a segment that we originally tucked into episode 149, but these 10 tips are just too helpful to be buried, so we're giving them their own dedicated space here.
Because the moment you get your class list is one of those moments. Suddenly, the school year stops feeling hypothetical and starts getting very, very real.
It's a roller coaster. There's excitement, there's anxiety, there might even be a name or two that sends you into a bit of a panic. We know that feeling all too well.
This episode is here to walk you through what to do next. We're covering everything from how to gather helpful info about your new students, to setting up your classroom and communication systems, to that all-important door display.
These tips are simple, practical, and designed to help you feel calm, confident, and ready without losing your mind in the process.
So whether you've already gotten your list or you know it's coming any day now, this is your friendly guide to that first big step in back-to-school prep. Let's get into it.
You're listening to Teacher Approved, the podcast helping educators elevate what matters and simplify the rest. I'm Heidi.
And I'm Emily. We're the creators behind Second Story Window, where we give research-based and teacher-approved strategies that make teaching less stressful and more effective. You can check out the show notes and resources from each episode at secondstorywindow.net.
We're so glad you're tuning in today. Let's get to the show.
Well, there is just something about that moment when you get that list of names and suddenly everything you've been worrying about and prepping for, it all just becomes real fast.
Yeah. If it were a movie, the camera would do that thing where it moves out while zooming in at the same time. So you know the character is reevaluating everything that they thought they knew.
I need that effect in real life. Is that a filter?
Yeah, something like that.
It is a profound moment. Unless maybe you got your class list at the end of last year, then it might not be so profound.
Yeah, when you're already burned out, it probably doesn't have the same effect. But for those of us who have been haunting the front office for days, begging someone to please just give us a class list already, it is a momentous occasion.
And the very first thing you should do when you get that list is to breathe. Take a deep breath in and out, and then scan the list for that one name or maybe a few names that you are definitely hoping not to see.
And if you do see that name, take some more deep breaths. It'll be fine. You got this.
And if you are lucky enough not to see that name, try not to gloat in front of your coworker who does have that name on their list.
It'll be fine. We've all got this, right? Okay, we've breathed and saved your happy dance for the privacy of your classroom. Now what?
Well, we have 10 tips for what you can do now that you finally have your list. I tried to put this in an order that makes sense chronologically, but there's obviously a lot of wiggle room since so many school situations are different. Just, do what makes the most sense for you. But for me, the best place to start is with tip number 1, which is to get the details.
Now, I know that I like to start with checking in with last year's teachers just to hear what they have to say about their kids. And I know this can be a controversial choice, but I figure I'm adult enough not to let another teacher's criticism color my relationship with my new student. Go ahead and do what's best for you, though.
Yet for me, the rewards outweigh the risks. Last year's teachers have a lot of useful information that wouldn't necessarily be in a file. I know twice I had teachers prep me for students who had kidney issues and needed to be seated near the door so they could get to the bathroom ASAP.
Besides talking to last year's teachers, you probably need to round up cumulative files. We had separate reading pass-along files we had to keep. If student bus assignments are available, you might want to get a hold of those too, and definitely find out about any accommodations you need to make.
Related to tip 1 is our second tip: learn how to pronounce names correctly. Even if you don't want to talk to previous teachers about your students' behaviors, it's probably smart to ask them how to pronounce any names that you're unsure of.
They can also let you know who prefers to go by a nickname.
But having learned this the hard way, you might want to double check on that before you start labeling things. Sometimes preferences change over the summer.
Yeah. So if a student is new to your school and you need to learn their name, go back to the tip in episode 73, where we have 5 suggestions for respectfully learning students' names.
Okay, on to tip number 3, which is to make home contact. Hopefully, I've got my fingers crossed for you. You've got enough time between getting your class list and school starting to make some kind of positive home contact.
If you want some ideas for how to welcome your students before school even starts, check out our July tip in the Teacher Summer Talks Summit. If you're not signed up for that yet, it's totally free and you can get all the tips from the summer, even the new ones that just dropped today, at the link in our show notes.
Okay, you've got the details. You know how to pronounce the names, and you've made home contact. Let's get started on tip 4, arrange the desks.
I know some teachers let students choose their own seats at the start of the year. However, there's no chance on earth that I would ever do that. I for sure assigned seats, so it was clear to students that there was a special place waiting just for them. And also, I'm a control freak, but mostly that there's a special place here just for you.
If you are assigning seats, make sure you have accounted for any accommodations. Beyond that, at the start of the year, you really don't have to sweat too much about your seating arrangement.
But even if you're not focusing too much on having a strategic seating arrangement just yet, it's not too early to set up your student names in our seating chart planning tool. We walk you through exactly how to maximize your seating arrangements to boost learning and positive behaviors. You can find the link to that in the show notes, and you can just plug in the names even if you're not ready to start using the tool.
Once your desks are set up, it is time to label all the things. So much labeling.
I love this part. That's tip number 5. Just prepare yourself that there's a high chance of things changing in the next few days, which is the worst. But also you want things to be labeled, so you kind of have to take some gambling bets here.
And even if you don't want to label everything just yet, because, there is that chance that your list might change, you should at least have your students' names outside your door.
And that is tip number 6, to post your door display. If you want to have a big, fancy, Pinterest-perfect door display, and you have the time and energy to make it happen, go for it. If you want to stick to a big class list outside your door, that works just as well, we've found. The purpose of a door display is to assure kids that they're in the right place. However you want to make that happen is the right way to do it.
Tip 7 is something we talked about in last Monday's episode, and that is to prep your papers for any positive communication ahead of time. If you want to send each student notes during the year, print and label the papers now so it will be easy to follow through with your good intentions, even on those days when you are tired and busy.
Go back to Monday's episode 148, if you want more details about that. And then get started on tip 8, which is to get any needed back-to-school paperwork ready to go.
And, while we're dealing with administrative tasks, let's get started on tip 9, which is setting up the gradebook and any online accounts.
You especially want to make sure you have any needed student login information.
And also that you have prepared a way for students to have access to their login information.
And that brings us to the 10th tip for what to do when you get your class list, and that is to set up your parent email group.
You may as well get started on that. You're going to need it. And go ahead and add parents to any other communication systems that they'll need to use.
Phew, that is a lot to consider and probably doesn't even cover everything that you need to do with this class list. So check out our school readiness checklist to help keep you on track with all of these tasks. Okay, those are our 10 tips for what to do when you get your class list, and we hope they help take a little of the overwhelm out of this moment.
Remember, you don't have to do everything all at once. Just take it one step at a time and focus on what will help you feel most prepared and grounded.
The start of the year brings a lot emotionally, mentally, logistically, and it's okay to feel a mix of things, but you're not alone in it. We're right here with you, cheering you on.
And hey, if there was a tip today that really resonated or helped you shift your thinking a bit, please share it with a teacher friend. We all get a little better when we help each other out.
Thanks for spending time with us today. You've got this, and we'll see you next time.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of Teacher Approved. I'm Heidi.
And I'm Emily. Thank you for listening. Be sure to follow or subscribe in your podcast app so that you never miss an episode.
You can connect with us and other teachers in the Teacher Approved Facebook group. We'll see you here next week. Bye for now.
Bye.